Welcome to episode 336 of the Overlook Hour. I'm your host, Clark Little. Along with me, as always, is the man sitting across the table from me wearing a white t-shirt that he may or may not can wear in front of children. We'll get into that and more. It's Russell John, the Fisherman.
I indeed could wear it in front of children, although I was wondering what their parents thought of me.
Do you actively have that thought?
No, and it was really weird. I felt seen in the wrong way. Because so we went to Modesto for Oksana's nephew's birthday, and there are a ton of little kids there. All like, dude, cool little kids. They got a jumper thing. It was all
A
Pokemon
jumper
thing. Yeah, what I don't know what you call them. It wasn't a castle.
A bouncy house?
It was called Jenny's Jumpers. Plug to them.
Boy.
Yeah, it was.
See, a jumper could evoke some sort of couture.
Oh yeah, you are correct. No, it was a dude who had a truck, and he backed up and delivered like 30 chairs, 3 tables, and inflated a giant UFC cage that had some Pokemon print on it. And again, Modesto, if you're not in California, it's one of the like middle cities that we never talk about. And we do on here because we make fun of it all the time because it's a horrid desert. And I was terrified it was going to be hot. And I'm like, I can't wear all black today, which is kind of my thing.
But you have capabilities to look at the weather at a destination before you arrive at said destination.
Oh, yeah. I was just assuming it's going to be hot.
See, well,
every time we've been there, it's been over 100.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Check your phone.
No, well, anyway, it was okay. It was like high 60s. It was very windy. But I ended up wearing a DragCon shirt that Terrell bought me for a picture we took one night while watching Drag Race. And I was like, well, all my other white shirts have like quotes like bark at the poon on them and upside down crosses. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy.
Bark at the poon.
So I got there and I'm like, well, I don't know. Are drag queens controversial? I don't feel like they are, but I was just like kind of in my head about
in
it.
Modesto.
Yeah. And then I had
Modesto.
I had my rings on. And I was like, I wonder what these parents think of me.
God, you are not built for Modesto.
No, and then me and Oksana are the only people there without children. And then, people start talking. We're like, oh my God, we're older than most of these people. And there was a couple there who were like, yeah, we wanted 5 kids. And it was like, this girl's 29 years old.
It was her birthday that day, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, what a different life.
She got 3 kids?
Mm-hmm.
She had 3 at the time.
29?
Yeah.
What time did that first one pop out?
I don't know. She looked fairly old. What, like 9?
I think she might have been like 7 or 8.
I have no idea.
How did the 29-year-old look? 29 or she looked 46?
No, I don't know. She carried herself well. She seemed young. Like
she got some city miles on that odometer.
Well, no, honestly, I wish, because I'm like, God, these people look more youthful and happy than me. Yeah. And I've just been like partying.
Yeah, until you go down to the downstairs unit, there's a big walk-in closet. You feel me?
Here's the thing. I agree with you, and I really want that to be true. But I was looking around at these people. I'm like, I think they're doing it right. And one of them, like, Oksana gave her nephew this Babadook shirt we made forever ago that had, like, Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
It was a very complicated idea for nobody but us.
Correct.
And one of them pointed it out. She was like, oh, is that the Babadook? She's like, and it was interesting because she has kids, clearly. This lady had 2. And she was like, I had to turn that off and like kind of get my composure and come back into that. But she was like, I really like that movie. And I'm like, we're doing this wrong.
Oksana Valerian of Osachi, how was the birthday party yesterday? Did you have any issues wearing couture that was not children appropriate?
No, I ended up wearing the shirt I'm wearing right now too, which has a Nosferatu pointing a rifle and a werewolf.
Okay.
But
Yep.
I ended up getting into the bouncy house or whatever
you
call it.
The Jenny's jumper?
Yeah, I got in for a couple minutes, and I don't feel like dying today, so I guess I'm aging pretty well.
Here's the thing. We were looking at each other, and I'm like, we were having like acne thing. Well, my hatney. And I'm like, God, I feel like I'm like the fucking fattest person here. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? I feel more stressed. I probably had more candy than these parents. They seem like
You didn't get in the Jenny's jumper?
No, hell no. I don't think Jenny would have appreciated that if I got in there.
Jenny's Craig's jumper.
Yeah, dude. The white shirt thing almost backfired on me. Now, I was going to wear my Balboa long sleeve like we talked about off air.
Yeah.
But beautiful from Harry Nordlinger. I'm glad I didn't, because the fucking wind, it wasn't hot. It was windy, though.
Yeah.
Blew a whole Costco pizza onto me. flipped the box and it hit me. And I was like,
with the pizza inside?
there was like half left. It was all the cheese that the kid like didn't take.
So you got
cool.
a little
pizza was
sauce
whack anyways.
Here's the thing. I got covered in a liquid. And I was like, oh, God, I got pizza grease all over on me. But then Oksana was like, no, it flipped over and the pizza's on a chair. And I'm like, what is this then? I think somebody had a soda that hit me from my shoes to my head, though.
So much soda got dumped because the kids would just leave their cans on the
table. Oh, nobody
and
finished
we're like,
anything.
Whose is this? It's getting tossed.
Dude, what the hell? Also, I want to complain about these children. They all had cake and pizza, didn't finish one plate. And I want to complain because I wish I could do that. I was like, I felt the obligation to finish their plates.
Well, they're children. They're, that motor's redlining at all times.
Yeah, I know. But my mom used to be like, you need to finish that food before you get up.
Yeah, my mom said that when I was 4, and then I got salmonella poisoning from McDonald's chicken nuggets.
And then the guilt saved you.
That's right. Oh, no, guilt has never played a part in Donna Thornton's life.
Damn. Shout out to Donna.
She powers through, baby. Powers through. Also joining us from Atlanta, Georgia, as always, is it Randy Michael Stat, a.k.a. Randerson Cooper.
That's me, big Anderson Cooper fan over here, also wearing the same shirt that I wore yesterday. It's a very comfortable green pocket tee. And also shout-outs to the most famous person that ever came out of Modesto, George Lucas, whose net worth is $6 billion USD, according to Google.
Well, that Disney put a big bump in there for him. I think he got $4 billion from that.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard about Modesto the first time when Lacey Peterson died. That's how Modesto came onto my radar.
Wow.
Weren't they from Daly City?
No.
Well, they lived in Daly City.
They did?
I thought they did. Scott Peterson, I thought they were from Daly City.
I have no idea. I'm not up on my serial killers from the Bay.
I thought they were from Daly City.
But while we're talking about clothes, shout out to Thomas Burke, who broke radio silence and contacted me. Not a lot of text again, but he did send a picture of the socks he was wearing, which were also his girlfriend's socks and mismatched. So it's good to know I have a brother in arms there. Are you looking that up to see if Lacey was from here?
I thought he killed her in Daly City.
Dude, at the Balboa. They were seeing a movie. Kai was putting it on, and he offed her in front of a crowd.
No, it was Modesto. Why am I thinking it was Daly City?
Wishful thinking, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We need more high-profile crimes out here.
I had a teacher at the time. I was in college. His name was Scott Peterson, but it was spelled with an E instead of an O.
Ooh.
And people would constantly joke about whether he killed his wife or not. He didn't think it was all that funny.
That's funny because I remember the Seinfeld episode where Elaine was dating a dude with a famous serial killer name who had a trial going on at the time. And their reaction was completely different because people were angry about it and she was embarrassed.
I remember that.
People weren't joking.
Wait, what?
Do you remember that one where Elaine was dating, what was his name? He had the name of a serial killer who was on trial at the time, and she was very embarrassed about it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the dude's name. Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy Joe Davola.
Yeah, good enough. It was definitely not Joe Davola, but...
Randy, what'd you do yesterday?
What did I do yesterday? I went and saw a movie. I went on a long walk again. Got a good 17,000 steps in.
Damn.
Ooh,
And,
humble brag Magoo over here.
I read a little bit of a book, but I didn't finish it because I start things and I never finish them.
Cool.
And just kind of hung out.
Did you catch up on Ozark, dude?
I've not seen the last 2 or 3 seasons of Ozark. I'm out.
What an absolutely... I don't know if I have seen a more ridiculous premise played so straight that is completely asinine, and it's potato chips. I knocked out that last season in a day.
I haven't watched an episode of it ever.
You don't need to. It gets so ridiculous. Let me explain this. Spoiler. Fuck you. At one point,
it's a TV show. It's fair game.
They send Jason Bateman down to run the biggest drug cartel in Mexico as like a stand-in. It's like, and then the head of the cartel is like, It's a good idea. See, good idea. I'm like, this fucking show.
See, you're giving me fucking Breaking Bad vibes. That's what I hated about Breaking Bad.
No, but Breaking Bad, there's more nuance in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but when he was in fucking Mexico fucking around and they had like the shootout by the jacuzzi, I was like, what are we doing? I was into this because it was about a teacher who decided to use his knowledge for evil.
Well, babe, you got 5 seasons.
I know.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of time in TV.
I know, and you got to keep ramping it up.
Plus, the budget gets bigger, and they're like, oh, we can do bigger things now.
Yeah, but I liked it when he was making bombs and, using physics, not like...
I don't think it ever got away from that. They just had to
changed.
circle back a little bit. Sure. Well, that was also the thing with Better Call Saul.
Oh, really?
Because that got bigger too. Because now we're fully entrenched in the
crime world,
cartel stuff.
Oh, but he's now okay.
Because Saul Goodman is a friend of the cartel now.
Well, if we keep it business oriented, and he's just like a shitty lawyer for them or an attorney, hey, I'm into that. You know what? I guess we moved out of the corporate angle of Breaking Bad. No, because I guess he was working for the cartel. He just became like a weird pulp hero that I wasn't into.
Yeah, I tell you, I think that I'm really liking how I think they're going to end Better Call Saul, because this is the last season.
Yeah.
I think we're 3 episodes in. And,
I'm bummed. That's a show I wish I would have stuck with.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Same.
Now, I do want to continue this, and we'll close the book on TV talk. But we rarely talk about
TV talk.
Now this is more, Randy. I'm going to encourage you to get into this, but I know that you are a little bit hesitant with The Wire and things akin to that. But oh God, what was it? What's the guy's name who made The Wire?
Bubbles.
I can't think of his name.
Oh,
the writer.
Simon.
David Simon.
Yeah.
So David Simon has a new series on HBO.
Oh, really?
Called We Own This City. And he's going back to his roots. We are Chicago, we're in Baltimore police, gun task force.
Oh,
dude,
no.
We are. And let me. Only 1 episode has come out. Fantastic episode. Everybody's loving it. And dude, Russell, look at me.
Yeah.
So many people from The Wire are sprinkled in here
now,
in completely different roles. Marlo is now a cop.
Okay.
Poot, a cop. Slim Charles, just a guy. We see Slim. Jay is now the police commissioner of Baltimore.
All right. I gotta ask now. Is this more like, hey, my shit hasn't been working like The Wire, so I'm coming back?
No, it feels completely fresh.
All right. I'm looking at his shit right now. It is steamy and a dark brown. I'm sorry, I used the word shit too much.
It's like 90-something%.
I liked Treme.
Yeah.
I can't.
I saw like 2 episodes of that.
I think I watched the whole thing. I thought Treme was beautiful.
I need to get back. I would like to do Treme. I missed it completely.
Well, it's visually stunning.
I remember the theme song.
Yeah, the music is fantastic. It's so much culture that I've never been exposed to. And then I'm looking what he did. Show Me a Hero, The Deuce, The Plot Against America, and then Now We Own the City.
The Deuce I couldn't get into.
Again, another
Show Me a Hero
reference.
is grim and gray and cold and bleak and gray.
I think I like that, if I remember correctly.
Oscar Isaac, he plays that guy in Yonkers.
Oh, God. No wonder Randy liked it.
Dude, I highly recommend We Own the City. The first episode just dropped last week. And I don't know if it comes out on like Sundays or Mondays, but
on what?
HBO.
Oh, okay. I could do that then.
Yeah.
God, are we paying for HBO?
No, hell no.
Okay, then we can't do it.
I just re-upped. I just re-upped because I had to re-up because Barry's back.
We have it through our internet provider.
What?
Something. Yeah, we have HBO.
For free?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Party
Cancel
time.
your subscription then.
I cycle through mine.
When the numbers came out that Netflix had lost like 33% in their stock or some shit, there's been a lot of conversation about like reevaluating the streaming shit. And I'm sure you guys heard that all the streaming services are starting to look at a new way to do it, where they have commercials and a free buy-in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay,
like a
we're back.
situation?
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're back to
Netflix
cable
thinking about
TV. Yeah, Netflix. Yep.
Damn.
And it's funny because everybody talks about cable early on, and they're like, when cable came out, there were no commercials.
Well, Netflix is like $17 now.
Yeah, but how funny is that? Like, I don't know. I feel like I always talk about how I hate commercials, but also I feel kind of disconnected from culture without them.
I think Netflix, they lost their way a little bit. They made bold moves because they really started to hound the international market.
Yeah.
If you look at, their offerings here in the U.S., a ton of international material that's coming in. And
is that bad?
No, I'm not saying it's bad, but what I am saying is that it didn't become a destination for movies. It became a destination of original content.
Yeah.
And then their original content started to get cloudy. And, obviously a lot of kid stuff is real big with Netflix. Real big international focus. I mean, Squid Game broke the internet.
For sure.
And, and Money Heist and things like that. And, I don't know. Netflix just became, I think it started with like Stranger Things with me. Of like, I don't care.
Oh, weird. That they definitely had a ripple effect with the original content too.
But like, they don't get big movies anymore now. Like,
I don't think they care.
Big movies go to like HBO.
Well, I mean, think of the way we digest content now with people on TikTok. It's like short attention span, right? So you could get a TV show and have 1 million episodes, or you could get a movie. And then people are kind of like,
HBO offers more for me than Netflix.
Well,
and it's a little cheaper.
There's a thing to consider there. HBO also has probably like 40,000 less titles on there. So one of the problems with Netflix with me is I don't never know what the fuck to watch on there. I feel like they're always inventing new menus to try and help you out. But there's shit on there that I really want to watch that you would have to literally type in the whole name to pull up. And it's like, it just doesn't work for me. But, yeah, companies like Amazon, they have a dual income where, they have Amazon Prime, which is a shipping company. So I don't think Amazon was talking about bringing back the fucking IMDb thing. Remember that? It's like IMDb channel and it's just got commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like everything's going that direction. And I'm like, do we really need fucking Disney, Paramount Plus, Hulu, HBO, Netflix, Shudder?
I had to get YouTube at TV again.
You know what I'm going to do? Cancel it all. I'm going to get POV horror again. I'm back on. Which, you know what? While I segued there.
You went up.
Who did?
The price.
Oh, POV?
Mm-hmm.
What's it at?
I think it's $4.99 or $5.
It's fucking tough. No, I don't know. Actually, everybody should do it because we just made a deal with them for a sponsorship package. So I guess they're going to put a playlist on there for our film fest that we failed to talk about on here, which is the F5 Virtual Edition. We've been flirting with Steinberg forever, and honestly...
And now we get to fuck.
Yeah, and now we're going to consummate the marriage. So, yeah, everybody, maybe we should start doing commercials again. I remember those being a lot of fun, because I didn't really have to do much, and you were just riffing.
This segment brought to you by POVhorror.com.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm ready to start purging, like, all the streaming shit. And, I don't know, we could be... hey, what happened with Apple TV?
What about it?
My mom hit me up and was like, hey, they're allowing 5 other people to use your account now. So she sent me like a,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because I heard Netflix is going to undo that. They're going to start cracking down on all the sharing. I don't know. Allegedly, I know.
You know what looks terrible, speaking of TV talk, on Paramount Plus? The Godfather show The Offer. I saw a commercial for it. It looks terrible.
I know, and I want to watch it.
Wait. So it's The Godfather, like from the film?
It's like the making of The Godfather.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing like a Beatles thing, where it's like we were recording while they were arguing.
No, it's a dramatization. It's Miles Teller.
That's whack. And if Randy's out, it's got to be low.
Oh no, it looks awful, and I definitely want to see it.
Cool. I can't wait to hear about that. It does sound like a train wreck.
Yeah, but that's another streaming thing I don't want to have to pay for.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Paramount?
Yeah, because I hate Paramount because it would always kick me out. I have to log back in on my TV.
That's right. I remember because you had Paramount briefly, and I was watching all of Bar Rescue, just like on loop. You know, that's my other problem. I do watch TV. It's just 100% junk TV.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I can't sit down and give them 13 hours.
And that's what Ozark is. And that's how we close the loop.
All right. Well, I guess, do you want to start this thing officially?
All right, let's bring him in.
You know, other than, I could talk about that after. Yeah, let's bring him in.
Good morning. It's May 1, 2022, and it's a Sunday. Day 2 of weekend projects, and everyone is welcome aboard the fun work train, where you might have heard 2 additional dining cars have been added.
What?
So there's 3 dining cars to enjoy.
Whoa.
And they each have fine food, treats, drinks, including always fresh, hot coffee. Today, I'm going to be working, hopefully, with glue and tempera paint. Everyone,
is he sniffing
have a
it?
great day.
What were those guttural noises?
Dude, I think that coffee wasn't sitting well.
That
with them.
was rough today.
Yeah. You could hear that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, again, if you're listening in your car or like on a speaker, I don't think you'll hear that. But if you have headphones on, you can clearly hear a...
It sounded like his stomach was grumbling.
It's probably from that weak-ass mud coffee. Randy's words, not mine.
Mud water? Are you drinking mud water?
Oh, I was making a joke about his shitty coffee.
Do you know about mud water? You heard about mud water?
What is mud
Randy,
water?
you know about mud water?
I've heard it advertised, but I don't really know what it's about.
It's the new coffee, dude. It's basically mushroom tea.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I think I have heard about that. I'm into it. I like mushrooms.
Yeah,
Not the drug. No, I actually was thinking about trying to start taking that lion's mane. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
I've met Joe.
I used to take lion's mane for a little bit.
God, is it attached to him?
That seems like a Joe Rogan thing.
Oh, weird.
Or
I don't know.
Alex
It might
Jones
be.
thing.
Okay. If it's attached to him, I feel embarrassed.
They both shell supplements.
They do.
Yeah.
But I want to be sharper. Like whenever I feel cloudy, that's the worst feeling to me in the world. Other than when I was young and I had bad asthma. Like being unable to breathe is probably one of the worst things.
You had asthma?
Oh, yeah, bad.
You had a Haler?
I did.
But you're good now.
Yeah, because so I looked into, so me and Oksana here, we're doing a flashback now. We moved into a house that was dubbed Mildew House at one point.
That's not good.
And we moved into a room. There's this nice Brazilian family gave it to us basically because it was totally illegal to be living in there. Very cheap. And we moved everything in and we slept in this room and we were fine. And then we did a deeper clean and we noticed, oh, there's like fucking black mold all over every wall.
I don't know if it was black.
It's better for the story. So I instantly, upon seeing it, started like locking up. And I felt like I couldn't breathe. That night I didn't sleep because I was struggling the whole time. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Yesterday I was fine. You look it up, it's almost like 100% psychosomatic. And I think that's why in a lot of films you get like in like It, whenever we have a character who needs an inhaler, it's really them dealing with like anxiety or something. Like you have to overcome a fear.
Yeah.
So I'm not like discounting asthma because I've definitely been through it. But dude, it hasn't fucked with me since I kind of became aware of that. Yeah, I don't know. But
do you keep an inhaler on your person?
No, I feel like if you do that, you're almost begging for it. Like you're kind of
okay, but
I still got one at home.
There are times like, God, it hasn't been for years. Honestly,
we tried to get him one. It was a couple of years ago. I can't remember what it was for, but he was having trouble breathing, and they were like, no, you're good. We're not going to give you one.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Normally, drug dealers are a lot more receptive to cash money, but this one just wouldn't give it up. Well, why was I
take mine sometimes before I go on a jog.
Yeah, I don't know. So you're preemptively taking it.
Yeah, I feel like it has helped though, because I just feel like I have bad lung capacity.
I don't know. I feel like you're juicing, dude. You're like injecting these steroids into your lungs. That's how you're doing 17,000 miles a day.
Yeah, I take the inhaler through the butt. Actually, it works better that way.
It bypasses the liver. Well, it's a good move.
You have bad lung capacity because you take 17,000 steps, but you maybe say 500 words a day.
That's probably true too.
How about you stretch them lung muscles, baby?
No, hey, I'm trying.
I think a big part of my respiratory problems are I think I have a deviated septum. And I remember, God, it's making me cringe thinking about it. I was at a bar with some people, and they were reminiscing about the days they used to do coke, which I've never done. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool story. You guys are real fucking cool. And they're like, isn't it funny how like you have to test your nostril to figure out which one's best? And I remember thinking, wait, there's a good and a bad one, because I have one that works and one that doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like period, like all the time. So that's probably it. The inhaler was just helping me out mentally. Why was I talking about this? Black mold? Mushrooms. Okay, yeah. We can get away from this now.
Also, mud water, it doesn't taste like coffee. Someone says a chai cocoa combo that tastes like cinnamon rich mocha.
Yeah, I didn't say it tastes like coffee, but it's the substitute for coffee.
Now I'm sold. I love a chai.
With a hint of ginger and an earthy aftertaste. Earthy is an alarming word because it just means dirt.
Well, after we were in the East Bay this week shooting, God, we shouldn't be doing this here, but we went out and got kava, and that is a very earthy root that makes your mouth numb. So
what is this garbage?
I don't know. It's a substitute drug that a lot of sober people drink.
Some hipster bullshit.
Whoa, dude. Have you ever had it?
I have not, no. I know it was a big thing, like, in San Francisco, New York years ago, too.
Yeah. Well, I party in the East Bay when I'm on kava, dude.
Hell yeah. It's better. Better in the East Bay.
Everything is.
What happened to just fucking huffing an aerosol can?
I know, right? The whippets?
Like, yeah, dude, just do a whippet.
It's just lowbrow. That's more TikTok shit.
Are kids still doing whippets? Or?
Dude, let's make a TikTok where it's just like us doing whippets. It's the only videos we post.
I used to do whippets.
I know adults that do whippets. And by adults, I mean my age.
Okay.
Yeah, you're JC, dude. You're 33.
All right, now,
you're
dox him, dude. What's first and last name? Make it up. Yeah, okay.
All right, you got a segment?
Oh, no, I don't. Thomas did contact me to send me that picture of socks, but that's it.
Okay.
So I think he might be held hostage and forced to wear women's clothing. As for the noir Western, I got a good one lined up. But my God, we've been working on this film fest that we haven't been talking about on here forever. Again, F5 Digital, May 7th.
We'll give that to you on Thursday.
Yeah, I'll come back with the noir thing. So I don't know, be ready. Install a seatbelt so you can buckle up.
Oh boy.
You don't want to get in a wagon accident in 1920.
You don't want to hit a jackrabbit or whatever that was.
Hey, here's a little tease. The next guy I'm going to talk about also wore an eye patch.
Tight.
I don't know what was happening back then, but
Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, dude. No, he's in trial right now.
That's true. I heard. I heard it's pretty good.
It's very entertaining.
All right, Randy Michael.
Yes, sir.
Step up to the plate.
All righty. So last week I talked about Atlanta Film Festival where I saw Marcel the Shell. I saw another movie playing the Atlanta Film Festival this past week at Dad's Garage, which is a improv theater that they do screenings in for the film fest.
Of course it is. Of course it's an improv.
It's very convenient. It was literally about 2 blocks from my apartment.
Damn.
It sounds like an improv group's name, though.
Dad's Garage?
Yeah.
It does, kind of. I haven't been there for any shows, but I don't know. Might be fun to check out.
Improv's never fun.
Improv? Yeah, I'm like, if you want to go cringe.
Cool venue, though. But I saw this movie that is a local production called The Murder Podcast, directed by either William Bagley or Bagley. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name.
How do you feel?
I feel like it's probably Bagley, but I'm not sure.
Because Ed?
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, I apologize if I pronounce your name incorrectly.
Is it an EA?
No, it's just Bagley. It's probably Bagley.
It's probably Bagley. I grew up with some Bagleys.
Yeah, don't worry, Randy. I've called former guest Isaac on here, and they they forgave me.
I don't.
True.
You're a different subject, man. You're a different
so
breed.
this movie features very local cast and crew and everything. It sounds like it was made pretty quickly and with a pretty small crew, but it looks great. So essentially, it is a movie about these two friends. One's name is Chad, and the other's name is Eddie. Chad is played by Andrew McDermott, and Eddie is played by Cooper Buka. And they do a podcast together. And Chad is the host of that podcast. And it is called Ramen Reviews with Chad. So essentially, they're in his sister's basement where they record the podcast, and he's just reviewing ramen, essentially like microwave ramen.
Wait, so they move up from the sister's basement to dad's garage?
Yeah. So yeah, they have this very niche ramen podcast, and like early on, they have a celebration because their latest episode got 103 listens, which was up 15% from the last week, which I thought was very funny. This is a very, very comedy forward. It is partially a horror movie as well, but essentially they're kind of like stony, goofy dudes who are doing this ramen podcast, and there is a murder that happens like next door to them, and essentially they're like, oh, this is the new thing that maybe we could get out of this niche of just reviewing ramen, and cash in on the murder podcasting game.
Dude,
try to solve this murder.
Randy. Now, tell me that every small podcast hasn't fantasized about that. I know Scary Thoughts on Air has like lamented, like, why did we pick horror? Everybody loves true crime. How easy would it have been to just go into true crime and actually have people listen? Now, you told us...
I fucking hate it.
I know. Here, you told me off air, though, that it was comedy forward and you wouldn't know if I liked it.
Yeah.
I respect that plot so much that I'm kind of pumped to watch it. So I'm in.
I think you will like it. The commentary, like even like that joke in the beginning of them celebrating 103 listeners, which is 15% by the previous week, is very just like, so just like, I look at our podcast statistics every once in a while too. And like, yeah, it's a little bit more than that most weeks, but
true. You're being generous sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But the jokes worked very well. The writing is really fun. Essentially they go to try and like solve this murder, and it doesn't go as planned. So like one of the first things, they go to the person's house where someone was murdered, and they want to like talk to their mom or something like that. And they walk up to their house, and they like knock on the door. They're like, hey, we want to help you solve this or whatever. She's like, I'm not talking to the news. They're like, we're not the news. We're a podcast. And then it just like is a cut to her like shutting the door on their face. So it's very funny, like very smart. It really kind of reminded me, although it's very different, of the show Only Murders in the Building. Just a very goofy show with Steve Martin, where they essentially do a murder podcast, and they're just like these old boomers doing this podcast. Very fun show. But yeah, the murder podcast was very cool. They did a Q&A, and a lot of the cast and crew came up on stage, and yeah, it was very fun screening. I did reach out and try to get you guys a screener as well, like you mentioned. So yeah, hopefully we'll talk about it more down the road.
Good deal.
You never wanted to do a true crime?
I hate that stuff.
Me too. But it's more the idea just that people like it. So it's like, oh, hey, we could talk about this thing.
If something is profoundly popular, there is such a strong chance it fucking sucks.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or it like points to a weird trend in a culture. Like the fact that, we like to get on here and joke around and talk about film, but people want to hear, I remember I listened to one, Sword and Scale, I think.
Oh, I can't.
Dude,
I
remember
hated
when
it
that
so
was like
much.
hitting like fire? And
I
people,
know. It was, and then I was like,
Dude.
this fucking blows. I
Well,
hate this.
It's not even fun.
No.
Like, I remember somebody had...
And also, sort of that stuff, it seems like not predatory, but it comes across as...
It's exploitive for sure.
100%.
Dude, the one I listened to, it was a computer reading a transcript because no human wanted to, and it was denoting these people who are cannibalizing children, and they had them in their freezer, and I'm like,
it's
okay,
fucking gross, dude. Like,
yeah, but women love it.
Yeah, women fucking are stupid.
Women love true crime and horror, so we're happy you're here, all two of you.
I hate this shit.
Oksana does count as one.
Oksana, do you like true crime?
Not like especially. But
she's the one that jumped out with Lacey Peterson. See, I don't worship him. You're the one with the poster on the wall.
I listened to the first season of Serial. I was not into the second one at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't seek it out or anything. I don't like being confronted with mortality that often. But I like horror movies. I don't know. It's weird.
Horror's different. Randy's talking about a podcast that it's a comedy, murder cast. I don't know. It's not confronting yourself with like your mortality, more like your bad choices in art.
It's the purpose of this show once a week.
Exactly.
What else you got?
So I was just looking for a movie to see yesterday, and I didn't really know what to. I didn't really know what to check out. I was near the Midtown Art Cinema here in Atlanta, and I saw that this movie called Hit the Road, which is an Iranian film, was playing, and just this poster of this young kid essentially like through the sunroof of this car, and he's just kind of like looks very happy, and I was like, and it looks like it might be kind of like a quirky kind of like a road movie. And so I was like, it sounds like it might be cool. So I went and checked it out. It's directed by Panah Panahi, who is the son, I believe, of Jafar Panahi, who is a pretty famous Iranian director. He, I believe, like went to prison, and then essentially Iran told him, they essentially like cut him off from like making movies because I think he was being too critical of the government.
Oh, yeah.
So he made a movie called This Is Not a Film in 2011, which I hear is good.
Yeah. I know this asshole.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe this is his son who wrote and directed this.
Is that the kid
so
in
essentially,
the poster? The 6-year-old?
Yeah, he directed the whole thing.
He does look very happy.
He does, yeah.
He is stoked.
It's
right
also
now,
like if you were going to break down the formula to make a heart-wrenching indie poster, I feel like they've nailed it. I don't know what it is about the arms wide with like a young kid and smiling that
with a Christmas sweater on.
What other posters look like that? Like what the hell? American Honey, isn't that kind of like the same? Or like Randy, what was it?
Yeah.
What was that trilogy movie that was kind of like 400 Blows, but it was like Iranian? I think it was Iranian. I can't remember. We've talked about it on here before.
Not sure.
Hostel.
Yeah, Hostel. Yeah, sorry. It's just the poster. You nailed it. It looks like, I'll probably be into this movie.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably just like an Iranian indie movie, which should be fun. It is definitely, like a Iranian indie movie. It's definitely a road movie, but it's different. It diverted my expectations quite a bit. I'm going to read this small synopsis. An eccentric family takes a road trip through sun-drenched Iranian landscape as they accompany their eldest son to a mysterious destination. So yeah, this movie gets a little weird. You're not entirely sure where they're going or why they're on this road trip. You're not sure if it's a vacation at first. You start to get a little more information towards like the middle or the end of the movie. But essentially, yeah, it's a father, a mother, this like 6-year-old kid who's a great actor in this movie, very lively. And then there is like a mid-20s, maybe early 30s son who is apparently getting dropped off somewhere. It's very mysterious. They are told that they should not bring any cell phones where they're going. And yeah, it's kind of withholding as to what is happening. And you don't necessarily get any answers by the end, but I really liked it, especially since it definitely diverted my expectations of what it was from the poster. It feels like it kind of takes place in a little bit of like a, I don't know, metaphorical place. But it does feel very real at the same time too. There's a scene where the father and the 6-year-old son, they are essentially like camping out on the side of the road. And the father's like laying on his back. He has a broken leg and like a cast. And the son like lays on top of him, and they're both like looking up at the stars, and they're talking about Batman. And it does this thing where it kind of like zooms out. And then it kind of reminded me of that scene in First Reformed with Ethan Hawke and Amanda Seyfried, where they're like laying down, staring at each other, and it goes off into this weird, like spacey, sort of like sci-fi kind of thing. It has a very similar scene in this movie, which was very cool. Yeah, I don't want to say too much more. I think there's a lot of like really interesting stuff in it. Yeah, I definitely want to like dig into it a little more and kind of like listen to some interviews, but it was really good. I dug it.
3 stars.
4.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Also, I was talking about the Apu trilogy. That's what it was.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Here's the thing. As soon as you said it, I had the image in my head,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get it out of my mouth, which is why I said Hostel.
Like, I think the first one was like Pather Pajali.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Apu trilogies for Criterion fans, I think, as it came out on there. Also, it's May. So what were we talking about last time where I'm like, oh, it's not happening? Oh, Petrikis. All his films should now be on the Criterion channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have yourself a happy May.
Yeah. Really upbeat start to the month.
That's right. Fire up Ape and have a great time.
We should watch The Alchemist Cookbook, though.
All right.
I feel like that's one of...
I want to watch Ape again.
Yeah, dude, Ape is good.
I
Dude,
love
he's
Ape.
a good director. Go listen to our episode. We had him on the damn show. What episode was that? Somebody look it up.
Randy, you got anything else?
That's it.
All right, Russell, fire it up. We
Uh,
got a retread, baby.
oh, really? Okay, hold on. Let me. I have to dig out the machine and hire the guy to wreck his car. Whenever you're ready.
Do it. It's the Randy retread.
I hella like that.
Yesterday, I ventured out into the great city of ours, San Francisco. The city by the bay, Russell. That's where I went.
Never heard of it.
Decided I had to figure out what I wanted to do. Now, again, there are several different motion pictures that are playing at various motion picture houses throughout this great area which we occupy. And so my decision yesterday, I had to figure out the times, map the times, figure out if I wanted to double up, figure out if I was going to do a single venture, where was I going to go, when was I going to eat. I was very hungry when I woke up yesterday. So I figured I was going to eat before, see a picture at noon. Everything worked out to go see Petite Maman, which is playing at the Metreon. So by the purposes of that, I saw Petite Metreon.
I would have went Petite Metreon.
What did I say?
Petite?
You stumbled on it a little bit, but I
Wow.
stumble on my words all the time.
Thank you so much. Petite Metreon.
Hey, you had confidence though. I
So
thought you meant that.
No.
Okay.
we don't.
All right. Randy, fix that in post.
I'm a little hot. Okay. Here's the deal. I have no notes on this. This is a perfect film, as far as I'm concerned.
Hell yeah.
I have no notes. What else can you say? This thing, first of all, I just want to congratulate everyone who was involved with this production. They nailed it. I want to congratulate our director and writer, Celine Sciamma,
Oh.
from Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which we know most famously as the poster in Randy's room, which he's currently occupying. By the way, I've still never seen that
Me
motion
either.
picture.
I would like to though.
It's good.
But based upon what I have witnessed in Petite Maman, sign me up. I'm there. No problems. All right? Celine, if Celine's there, Clark's in tow. We understand? Because this was magical. What a magical little 75-minute picture. That's right, 75 minutes. This thing started at 12 o'clock. When I say start, that means preview start at 12 o'clock. The end credits were rolling by 1:30.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
I'm into that.
What a wonderful experience. It was me, 9 other single dudes in this theater. There were 10 people, and it was all dudes by themselves. I think there were like 2 60-year-old women, which I should have hollered because that's my target market right there. But anyway, Petite Maman, let's talk about it. Nellie has just lost her grandmother and is helping her parents clean out her mother's childhood home. She explores the house and the surrounding woods. One day she meets a girl her same age building a treehouse. Okay, I'm not going to spoil Petite Maman,
all right.
but what I will say is that this is a fairy tale.
I've heard that.
And it's wonderful. The fact, if you don't at least well up in this, you have no heart. Some of the lines in here just can cut you to your core of just pure truth and sadness of life. And just really a very creative exploration of a mother-daughter relationship. And I am... This story could only exist as a exploration of a mother-daughter relationship. It would not work as father-son. And I don't want to get into spoiler territory.
Good.
Because what I mean by that is it would be far less interesting.
You're scaring us.
What? They're just hugging.
No, I'm where you're going. You're like, I don't want to get in spoiler territory.
No,
but
I don't mean that. What I mean is,
like we're turning off the road here.
No, it's just good. It would be far less interesting, and far less sweet, and far less poignant, because boys at 8 years old, we just pee on everything and destroy, and we would not get. Also, the girls that are they're actual sisters, in real life, because they look very similar.
Yeah.
And they are actual sisters, and that, you definitely feed off that, because those two are just, they're great, and I love everything about this. And yeah, there's not a whole lot more I can say, because I just encourage everyone to go see it. It was playing at Metreon. Was glad that I was able to see it in a theater. Again, 70 minutes, man. Like, come on.
It's funny. I'm clearly very aware of Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but I was doing my research while you were talking, and I went into IMDb, and I'm like, well, what else has she worked on? She's like the queen of when you're perusing physical media in a store, like out here, Amoeba or like Rasputin, RIP, and you're looking through, and in the indie section, you always see Tomboy, Girlhood, Water Lilies. And I think those are all movies that I might own and have never watched. But like, just looking at her filmography, I'm like, oh shit, she's her. So man, I hate this shit, because I want to watch all of these, and I know it's highly unlikely I'll watch any of them.
You should absolutely watch this.
I know.
It's the easiest watch in the world.
Yeah, I want to, but
again, it's perfect.
Yeah. Randy, what did you rate it? It sounds like Clark gave it a 5, but you watched it while it was on the Film Fest circuit, right?
No, I watched it on Mubi UK via VPN.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You watched it on what?
Mubi.
I've been sitting
in
on
the
that.
UK.
You retired the fucking segment right after.
I did watch something on Mubi, actually. I didn't talk about it, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, but it's not over. It's a segment that comes in quarterly. But I rated Petite Maman 4.5. I'll probably go 5, but I feel like 5 is reserved for movies that are like classics for me.
See,
you need
that's
some
the
time to
thing.
grow.
Yeah, you're putting too much pressure on the 5-star, dude. You're putting too much pressure on yourself.
It's cool. It's my own rating system. I don't care.
I get it.
What the fuck? Why does he get support for his weird quirks and ratings, but I get hate?
No, but I've given up with you. It makes no goddamn sense.
I don't. What you? It needs to age like a fine wine.
But it works for you. No, because the only reason is because I feel like I went through a similar thing that what Randy's saying.
Of course, and I did it when rating films from our film fest, because I'm like, what do you want? What does it say that you want to program a movie? Clearly, you like it, but what if you don't think it's as good as a different movie we programmed? And I was like, wait, who the fuck am I? Who's reading my letterbox that's going to be like, was that honest? I'm like, you know what? If we showed your movie, I'm giving it 5.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm doing this. I want to support you. People should watch it. So, yeah, I don't know. It is weird how we kind of put that pressure on there. But again, Randy says it's not worth that half a star and that you're a hack for giving it 5.
It's probably my favorite movie I've seen this year. I'll say that much.
I'll say, yeah.
But you haven't seen The Batman yet.
No.
Or Doctor Strange Part 2, Metaverse Coming Unglued.
Multiverse.
Yeah, dude. Sam Raimi.
I know. And if I'm honest, I feel a little bad because I don't want to watch it.
Multiverse.
I feel like I should. I'm like, Sam Raimi, Doctor Strange, he's interesting.
I'm tired. I got enough Doctor Strange in the last Spider-Man.
I didn't watch that either.
Yeah, me neither.
I was like, ooh.
I
get it.
Oksana, what's the last Marvel movie we went to?
What was after Civil War?
No,
I feel like I was trying to have this conversation with someone on Friday and I couldn't remember the name of it.
I think we saw Endgame.
Yeah, you saw Endgame.
That one.
Was that it?
I think so.
Whatever. I stand by that.
It's fine.
Yeah. Am I missing out on anything?
No, I only see the Spider-Mans.
I feel like there is that culture. That is a thing. And we did, I was kind of pumped because when we were driving to Modesto, they have a thing that the Bay Area doesn't, which is Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And Walmart carries some shitty horror movies. And I was pumped, and we ended up going to a Target. And I'm like, man, the only thing they got here is Spider-Man. And I felt the pull, man. I was like, am I going to buy fucking No Way Home right now? And I was like, I can't do it. So I didn't.
Last week, I introduced a new segment to the show. This week, Pay Dirt.
Oh, God.
It's back-to-back segments of the show. This is Clark revisits old movies he watched a long time ago and wanted to see if they held up or didn't hold up. End of segment talk.
Oh, do you want a stinger?
Give me a stinger.
All right.
This week, Clark talks about, last week, we laid down the groundwork. We were talking about Splat Pack, weren't we?
Oh, we were.
A little bit of Hostel, a little bit of Eli Roth, a little bit of the old 1-2, a little bit of the old high cheese right down the plate. As we talked about, it didn't hold up for me. But Hostel Part 2, friends, we're back in the zone.
I'm annoyed. I wanted to watch this.
Hostel Part 2 is good.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
It's good. It's what I wanted in Hostel 1. I am so glad he went to an all-female cast here, because in Hostel 1, it was all the bros, and it was boring. And in Hostel Part 2, they killed Jay Hernandez very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they kill him twice. They kill him once in a dream, and then they cut his head off in the kitchen.
Spoiler?
Hostel Part 2 came out in 2007.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
I get it.
And if you listen to the show, strong chance you've seen Hostel Part 2.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Hostel Part 2 by now, you're not seeing Hostel Part 2.
I don't know. Honestly, if you hadn't seen it, that wouldn't ruin the movie. That's just like a little thing. Yeah.
No.
But also, shut up. Like, that's a spoiler.
So, 3 American college students studying abroad are lured to a Slovakian hostel and discover the grim reality behind it. So, essentially, the same story, the same plot as we had before. But, like I said, we're subbing out for the girls. 3 girls are there studying abroad instead of trying to party through Amsterdam.
Studying abroad?
Well, there's also a little bit of that. And we get into the same thing. Now, here's the thing. We've got I like all the actors we have here. Bijou Phillips plays the sort of the little slutty one. All right, she's the one out there trying to get that that you understand?
European hog.
I'm trying to be friendly here. Trying to get smashed.
Tight.
Heather Lorna, she plays the annoying one, the bookie one. The one's always reading the book. She's always bringing down the mood of the other two girls.
Now, hold on. Did you just shy away from her last name? You're so good at the last name.
Yep.
Come on.
Nope, powering through.
Heather Matarazzo. Again, Gretchen Wiener. I love her.
She's great.
Yeah, I fucking love her.
And she's the first one to die.
And she gets nude in the movie, which I felt weird about because the wiener dog holds such
We'll get back to her death scene.
Yeah.
And then Lauren Germain plays Beth, who is the survivor girl, as it were, in this particular thing. And again, we learn in Act 1 of the motion picture that she comes from a very, very wealthy family. So this is Chekhov's wealth being used. So Eli Roth using Chekhov's wealth. Now, we've also got a couple douchebags here. Richard Burgi and that very strange looking man with very intense eyebrows who was the husband in Desperate Housewives. Roger Bart plays Stewart. And the reason I like Hostel 2 a lot more because we get a fuller picture of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
And we start to see, the powerful and the influential be involved in this world when they have bidding wars. And we see, just a sort of montage of rich people on their phones trying to bid on American girls. And it goes up to like $75,000 to kill them. But it's like, businessmen, men on golf courses, men at the beach. And then there's a cowgirl woman riding the range in like Montana.
Dude, I remember that.
Yeah.
It's just showing them all over the world.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that.
It's good. And by the way, they still rip that shit off today. They ripped that off hard in Fresh and did it in a much less interesting way. And it was lame as shit. I hate Fresh. Terrell,
Me too.
I love you, but that movie blows.
It was rotten.
Okay.
I did pull up the Rotten Tomatoes for Hostel 1 and 2. Do you have any idea where they're at?
Is Hostel more than Hostel 2?
By which standard? The tomato meter or the audience?
I only care about the tomato meter.
The tomato meter, Hostel, one of them is at 59%. Do you think that's 1 or 2?
I think that's 1.
That's 1. Do you know what 2 is at?
Probably 34.
44.
That's so wrong.
I know. And what about the audience, though?
I hope the audience is higher for 2.
Hostel 1, 53%. So what do you think 2's at?
I would say 59.
39.
God, Hostel 2 is way better.
Over 250,000 ratings, too. So it's like a lot of people weighed in.
Hostel 2 is way better.
I wish you could see what year they weighed in. Because I feel like maybe at the time it would have been higher and now it didn't age well. Or maybe not, because you're talking about gender politics. It's women forward here.
Here's the thing. We're doing a lot of the same things that we do in 1 here.
Yeah.
The kids play a big part in this. I think I failed to mention the kids that are in Hostel Part 1. There's like a gang of 8-year-olds that, are murderous. Also, they kill a kid in Hostel 2. They do it off screen, but he shoots a kid in the head. And then we get a little bit more of the guy running the operation. I don't know. It's just, it seems more complete to me. The kills are much better. The gore is more uncomfortable because I remember the biggest thing I remember from seeing Hostel Part 2 was that first death scene with Miss Matarazzo.
Okay. Oh, that was the first kill?
That was the first kill.
The Elizabeth Bathory one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, this feels icky.
Well, at the time, I was very into Miss Bathory. And I was like, whoa, they're doing it. And now I'm kind of like, it's hack material. But it was cool. I fucking like her. Damn it, I wanted to watch this movie again. I probably won't alone, though. Oksana hates these films. She calls them murder porn.
I've never seen it. I'd watch it.
What the fuck?
You've never seen Hostel?
I haven't seen part 2. I wasn't crazy about part 1.
Two's better than one.
She was a very highbrow, clove-smoking goth back in those days.
Shut
So she was probably like, they're doing it
Also,
wrong.
You can see when the reviews went up. Most of them are from 2008. Like,
Oh, okay. They are
cut
from the
off
time.
at 2009. Then there's like 2 from 2010, 1 from 2015, and 1 from 2020.
Okay. So you just tune in to check me.
Somebody
Thanks
got
for
bored in the pandemic. You know what I'm talking about?
that. Yeah. Is it Clark? Check.
That's right. Fire up the old Hostel.
Yeah, what the fuck? Can we start reviewing on there? We need to start changing perspective for these films.
Probably as an audience member, but Clark doesn't care about audience reviews, so
Oh,
I don't
you know,
if you'd want to.
Back in the day, I did try to get in the like actual tomato thing when we were doing the blog.
Yeah.
They want a lot out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's only gotten more and more strict, but whatever.
Well, plus they suck.
Yeah,
You
so
could be a verified audience member.
are you going to continue on to 3?
I have seen 3 most recently before I started this whole thing. I saw 3 through Redbox when it came out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Weird.
Which is I think a decade now.
I think 3 is a movie I own on DVD, like I mentioned, I think last week on that split Hostel 2, Hostel 3 thing. I've never watched it though.
Yeah. Well, Hostel Part 2011. I watched it at Redbox.
I'm down.
It was a straight to DVD.
Also, talking about children dying, I recently went on fucking microdose with Kush, and I realized we go on that show a lot and never plug it. This time it was just me, and without Clark there to like rein in the show, I went on a fun and fluid 2 hours with Kush, who was getting noticeably wasted during the thing.
The show wasn't that long though.
Yeah,
Oh,
he-
it was?
he
Okay.
split
You
it
must
up
have cut a lot.
He probably did cut a lot. I don't blame him. I mean, he opened up talking about the Northmen, and he's like, I don't really want to get into it because I'm going to cover that next week. But we talked about the Northmen a lot. And I thought of that because of child killing. One of the things I overlooked in the Northmen was how morally like ambiguous it was. It like they kill a house full of children in that movie. When we first joined the Vikings, we're on a longboat, and one of the guy puts down his like oar, takes out a bow, and just shoots the guy on the beach, and then everybody laughs. And I'm like, I think I got to go watch that movie again. So I was very like meh on it, even though I liked it. I'm ready to revisit it. I think I'm going to fly out to Atlanta and go see it with Randy.
Let's do it. We have to go in the afternoon though, so I don't fall asleep again.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to see it today because I only saw Petite Maman yesterday, and I'm thinking. I mean, look, should I go see the Northman or should I go see the Nick Cage thing? I already feel like I know what the Nick Cage thing's going to be.
I think you know what they're both going to be. So
I know that's why I don't want to go.
Do you want to do a like pretty there's some interesting storytelling going on with the Northmen, like hero stuff. I mean, it's Viking Hamlet. Do you want to see that, or do you want to see a self-aware comedy starring Nick Cage?
Maybe I'll just go see Sonic.
I know they're both kind of like, I totally feel you. Yeah. Go see Sonic. I mean, if you go see Sonic, it will give us a reason to pull the trigger on that Severin release.
If I go see the Northman, I'd go maybe to
Daly City, get a beer.
No, Stonestown, the RPX thing. Figure out what's going on there.
What the fuck is RPX?
I don't know. But
You get in a car and start driving, and they play the movie.
fancy stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like a Dolby Cinema, I think. It's just like better sound and like better seats and shit like that.
all I want is it to be loud. I feel like theaters already have better sound.
Said the metalhead.
If it's too loud, you're too old.
I did see it in a Dolby Cinema too, and I still fell asleep.
I remember one time I went to a festival and I fell asleep during Evanescence, and one of my buddies thought it was the
God.
coolest thing ever. He's like, "How the fuck did you fall asleep at this concert?" And I don't even think I was drinking. I'm just so fucking cool that I went to bed.
I wasn't there.
I was like,
Were you standing up?
clearly you weren't there. No, I was not. I think it was at I don't know where the fuck it was, but there were seats everywhere. Actually, it was probably Shoreline, which is garbage. You pay more money to get uncomfortable seats, and then you feel trapped to them. It's much more fun to have a mosh pit on a hill that you roll down into a pile of bodies and everybody's groaning. And I've better I'm not even joking. I have better memories of that
I mean, you're all looking at the same screens because no one sees the people anyway.
I know. Yeah. Shoreline. How much fun is that? All right. You're all done?
Done.
Okay, well, like I said, this week has been brutal. We've been working. Oh, God, I'm such a procrastinator. And we've got a film fest around the corner. On Saturday, May 7th, we're doing a 5 virtual, and we're still loading it up. I know we haven't talked about it much on here, and I think we'll do that later on this week. So I'll mention all the cool shit we're going to do there. But I mean, literally, I've not watched a movie until today. I kindly asked Randy and Clark if they would be able to push back this episode so I could cram something in. I was trying to figure out a way on Letterboxd to sort by runtime, and I don't think you can. So I was desperately looking for like a 70-minute long movie. And I'm like, I would like it to be topical. I didn't want to go through Shudder. So I opened up Amazon, and I had remembered that a loyal listener, Rich, had sent he basically given me access to his Amazon Prime account so I could watch all the movies that he had bought that has been removed from Amazon since then. And I remember in February, for Found Footage February, I'd started a film called Uncut Rage that had, I believe at the time I talked about it being like a Brian De Palma film where the whole thing is one shot, but it's split screen. So it's like a one-shot movie times 2. And it opens up with a girl. It's handheld footage, like it looks in-world camera, and she's tied up on the floor and she has a plastic bag wrapped around her head. And I remember being like, fuck yeah, this is perfect. I'm going to watch this. And then it's not in-world camera after that. But it still looks super interesting. So I kind of put it in the queue of movies that I'll never revisit. Guess what? I revisited it today. And so from 2020, there's a movie called Uncut Rage. I believe it's a French production. And dude, it was fucking rad. Like I said, we open up with a girl on the floor. It looks like snuff video, probably shot on video. And she's screaming while struggling to breathe. And then we cut to split screen. On the left panel, we have a Japanese woman who instantly, oh, here, you know what? Let me read the synopsis for you. A few months after her sister's killer is freed from jail, Nami, a young Japanese girl, arrives in Paris to claim a terrible vengeance. After getting weapons, she goes to her murderer's lair and kidnaps him. So instantly, even with that setup, on the left, we have a girl who's looking for revenge. On the right, we have a French dude who's cleaning up a crime scene. And it opens up where we're doing a split screen, but the way it's framed, it looks like one face. And then we pull out of that and we're off. The first 20 minutes of this movie, there's no dialogue. And we're basically following Nami walking around a park. She's dressed up, she's got heels on, and you just hear the clip clop of her on the sidewalk everywhere. On the right panel, we get a handsome French dude who is struggling to get bloody footprints off his floor. You would think it would be a problem to have two screens going at once, but I think this movie was meticulously made in the way that each frame, although it's worth watching, one kind of demands presence more. And if you're one of the rare people who jumped into this movie, you might have bailed on it in the first 20. And there's an interaction that I was talking to Oksana about where Nami, so I used to fantasize all the time about making an indie film. And I thought, I don't know anybody and I'm too shy to cast people. So what I'll do is I'll get my friends, and the way I'll fake it is I won't have them talk. And I feel like we could wing that because we could just shoot them moving. But like faking dialogue is really hard. And you can tell when somebody's not an actor. And man, did this movie feel like that for the first 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And there's an interaction where Nami she's walking through the park. And again, no talking. We don't know what's happening. And there's a dude on a park bench wearing a suit. And you're like, okay, you couldn't reek of actor more than that guy right now. And they look at each other and it's kind of awkward. And she walks away and he follows her. And it felt very stage play to me. And I'm like, oh no, is this movie going to be bad? And this kind of cat and mouse thing goes on for a while. And he gives her a bag and she looks in it and she takes it and she leaves. And I'm like, oh no, I might have made a mistake. And I was completely wrong. there is conversation, there's talking, dialogue after this. Not only are both people great actors, but we're multilingual here. I believe like the synopsis said, she's Japanese and she speaks it at one part, and our main character's French, and we even get some English in there. I'm like, oh, actually, this is a pretty worldly movie. Also, we're doing a thing like in Fat Tuesday, where she's outside in a park doing a one-shot film, which I think we looked into it, and it's supposed to be an estimated $1,500 budget on this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not blocking the streets off or anything. But there's not a lot of people out either. So when we noticed it came out in 2020, we're like, oh, duh, it's a lockdown movie. Like, clearly they shot this when nobody's on the street. Great idea. Well, we were wrong there too. Apparently they shot this in 2007, but there were a lot of production problems. I guess they'd run through each screen as its own film, essentially. And they had done each, 4 times? They had like rain delays come in. Every now and then people would interrupt the filming because, again, they're on the street and they're going through like locations. And it totally taps into that thing that I loved about Fat Tuesday, where we're making a movie, but it's got that raw energy of like a found footage film. And these people can fucking act. I mean, I took a note that a potential name for this movie could have been Parks, Alleys, Apartments, and Tunnels, because literally it's a lot of walking. And there's only one review on Amazon Prime, and the dude he gave it 1 star, and he said, this movie's bullshit. All they do is walk. They're just walking all the time, and it's split screen. And I'm like, dude, did you not read the fucking description?
Both of which are in the synopsis.
Yeah, and now Nami, the revenge girl, the Japanese girl, she does do a lot of walking, but it pays off. And everything here is very meticulous. For horror fans, the violence that happens isn't really on camera. So we're a little bit more art house here. I wouldn't say it's a kill off camera kind of situation, because that kind of denotes, I mean, if you're making like a Hostel film and you're killing people off screen, I would think of budgetary restriction, or maybe you didn't have the chops to pull it off. But this film, everything, it feels calculated. And man, I really enjoyed it. Me and Oksana were talking during it because I had a prediction of what was going to happen. The way that it was shot, there are time sequences that play out of course, you imagine that we're going to collide eventually with these screens, and we don't. And it's a really interesting narrative choice, the way that this story comes together. And I'm kind of shocked that I had never heard of this thing. I honestly think those first 20 minutes kill it for people. If you come in blind, that first 20, you might be like, I got other things I can do, even though it's a 70-minute movie. So I highly recommend people check out Uncut Rage. This is one of those films where I was so smitten with it that I kind of want to track down the filmmaker. I'm not sure if they speak English, though, so that may not come to be. But
we get a translator. Randy's our translator.
Dude, Randy could pull it off. One thing is, you might have been aware of a film that he contributed to earlier called the Tokyo Grand Guignol. How the hell do you say that word?
Guignol?
Guignol, yeah, I don't know. Tokyo Grand Guignol. He did one of the segments. I couldn't figure out which one because IMDb's dumb, and they just put him down as a contributor.
Yeah.
But I don't remember loving that film either. It was very quirky and kind of went for it. But I don't know, dude. Randy, I think you should check this one out.
Yeah, I might be down. I like a split screen.
And
De Palma hack.
Dude, I love the split. And I think, with a more ADD audience, you kind of like tap into something.
Because if you only like the split with bananas, dude.
It did, if I have
what about M. Night?
I'm back in.
My critique here would be, I wish the movie was a little bit more ambitious, because it does kind of give you that we're playing it a little safe at times, because I don't know, we don't have the chops. But then if you make it through the end, you're like, dude, you're a filmmaker. You should have fucking pushed this thing further. And instantly it started me thinking about Victoria. Like Victoria, I don't think has been dethroned. as like the one-shot feature.
Victoria.
Right? How fucking good is that movie?
It's great. I haven't seen it for
they
years.
cheat in Victoria.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure they cheat.
Can you confirm?
I don't
that?
know that they do.
I feel like after I saw Victoria, they were like, "Yeah, we cheated."
Hold on. This just in. Victoria's a fucking fake. It's fake news.
If memory serves, I remember I was out there on the streets, as I'm known to do, and I've heard that maybe they cheated.
You walked in and they were shooting the film and they were clearly cutting. They were stopping, resetting.
I watched, my aversion to DFW Airport in Dallas, Texas, because I've been stuck there overnight 3 times.
Famously.
I watched all of Victoria on my tablet.
Oh, it was.
I watched all of Bone Tomahawk on my tablet at that airport.
Were you at an airport that had a theater in it? Or like a screening room? Did I just make that up?
You may have made that up.
I thought you were like, there's a room where they were like playing movies. Wow, we should
Not
do
to my
that.
knowledge.
That's our business, dude. We'll bring movies back.
To the airport?
Yeah, you could get a beer. It'd be like the Alamo. So if you need a drink before and take your mind
But
off
it's
of it.
only The Terminal with Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Boo.
Yeah, or Final Destination. All movies that involve like flight or the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Uncut Rage. It's fucking good. Again, thank you, Rich, for sharing your account with me. You're insane for doing it. But hey, if we get this guy on the show, I'll let him know. Be like, hey, this weirdo reached out and gave me his password. And he collects watches like Clark, so something's clearly wrong here.
Dude, I'm only wearing I gotta get rid of 9 watches.
So what you do is you wear them all at one time. You get a trench coat and you go walk around on the corner of San Francisco. You know what? You could go down the Tenderloin. And whenever people come up, you just open up your jacket.
That market's too crowded over there. There's already 10 guys doing that.
Supply and demand. You're correct.
I'd have to go down Palo Alto. All right. Anything else? Because again, Thursday we're going to talk about the festival a little more. You said
Yeah, we
get a
just
little
hang
tease?
out again. Yeah, I apologize. I really want to do segments, but there's no time. I'm looking at the clock now. I'm like, I got to go back to work.
All right. Randy, anything else?
No, nothing from me.
Oksana, take us home.
You shouldn't throw it to me. Randy's better at this.
No, it's going to be the
What a failure.
I know.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Overlook Hour. And if you would like to hear more, please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your podcatcher of choice is. And while you're there, go ahead and give us a rating and or a review, which is a very easy way for you to support this show that we bring to you every week for years now, free of charge. And as always, you can find us on YouTube at The Overlook Theater, Instagram at The Overlook Theater, Facebook at The Overlook Hour, and Twitter at The Overlook Hour. Last but not least, you can send us your emails and tell us how much you like or dislike the show at overlookhour@gmail.com. And if you're nice, maybe we'll read them on the show. I've been your engineer, Randy Stat. Please join me along with Clark, Russell, and Oksana again next time. Bye.